here's your host, Alex Garrett.
And, middle of December, we're nearing Christmas. Alex Garrett here, Alex G in NYC. Alex G in NYC is my Twitter and Instagram. But why am I playing the Olympics theme? Because it starts off what's been a crazy, wild week for our enemy, Russia. Now, if this mic could stay up, that would be perfect. There we go. But yes, Russia has been told by the Olympics, get this, you cannot use your name, flag, or anthem at the next two Olympics or at any world championship for the next 2 years after a ruling Thursday by the Court Arbitration of Sport. Now remember, they have had a lot of doping issues and a lot of cheating in that regard. And so while the athletes will still be allowed to compete at next year's Tokyo and then 22 winter in Beijing, 2022, as well as world championships, including the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, if they aren't implicated in doping or covering up positive tests of doping, by the way, drug, doping, they really overall cannot use its name or flag at the next two Olympics. But there is one caveat. Russia can still use their name on the uniforms if the words neutral athlete or neutral team are also displayed. Russia has been neutered by the Olympics. Russia has been neutered by Mike Pompeo, the Secretary of State. And even this week, Vladimir Putin said congratulations to President-elect Joe Biden. But overall, what a wild week for Russia. And I just think, everybody talking about the breakdancing stuff, and I did too as a sport. But when you tell a major country in the Olympics, the Russians that we beat in 1980 with the Miracle on Ice, the Russians that have done doping, you cannot use your name, flag, or anthem if you place anywhere, first, second, or third, or if you win, I should say, the golden event. And if you do wear the name, it's got to be with neutral athlete. I am glad Russia is getting what's coming to them. I am glad that Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, today said, yes, the big hack this week was most likely caused by Russia. That included the Treasury Department. That included, I think, the Pentagon and other big places where, we got to keep secure here in America. Pompeo said, yeah, this is most likely Russian interference. And some might look at that and say, oh, look at this. Trump's allowing Russia to get some stuff. But if he was allowing that to happen, why would he have a Secretary of State condemn Russia? If he was allowing secrets to be given to Russia, why would he have a Secretary of State say, oh, Russia, is highly probable to have caused this attack? Our intel shows. If you were trying to give secrets away, you wouldn't tell anybody about it. I don't think, anyway. So I like the transparency there. But more importantly, I like that the world stage is shunning Russia. It's about time. Now, you could say, and I've said before, sanctions against Russia have been there. Yeah, Trump rolled back some sanctions as well. Yeah, he didn't exactly call out Putin in front of the media as he could have. But on the world stage now, Russia is getting what they deserve. And you know what part of that is, by the way? That you had a whole legislature so spineless, they let Putin take control for the next, 36 years or something like that. A man like that should not be in office for 36 years. A country that cheats in the Olympics should not be even anywhere near the site of competition, but they'll still be there with the name Russia on it, even though I don't think they should be even there because they were found doping. And they've gone to measures of banning the name and banning the flag and the anthem of Russia. And then they shouldn't even be anywhere near a G7 if they're going to go ahead and attack our infrastructure, our top government agencies' work. They should be nowhere near our facilities, our country, if all they're going to do is hack into it. But I ask this to you listening out there, alexginnyc@gmail.com, alexginnyc@gmail.com. Of all these stories coming out of Russia this week and out of the world stage this week, which one is most interesting to you? I think all three of them are uniquely interesting. The fact that Biden has been congratulated by Vladimir Putin. Remember, at a time where Putin was said to be Trump's puppet master and Trump's, strings are held on Trump by Putin and whatever. Guys congratulating Biden. And you don't think if he really wanted Trump that would happen? Now, someone say, but he waited till the electoral, but he acknowledged it. He might have even acknowledged it before then, too. So you've got that aspect. That for a country that thinks Trump's in bed with Russia, I don't think Russia would be congratulating Biden if that was the case. And then just today, reports saying that Pompeo has said there's been a hack, that hack was caused by Russian influence, calling them out, dispelling yet another idea that this Trump administration loves Russia. They really don't. I would say it was Hillary that wanted the reset with Russia to begin with. But what do I know? I should only stick to sports, right? That's what they say. Stick to what I know. I love you guys, but when you tell me that, it's like, okay, I'm going to go out and find out things I don't know much about or more about. And I'm going to tell you, hey, I've learned more about this. And I'll do it every time. When you say, I can't do anything, I'm going to do it. And do it 20 times harder. To show that, yeah, I'm listening to you. You don't think I know what I'm talking about, but hey, I've done some research and I've actually formulated thoughts on my own. And then thirdly, this Olympics thing. And why is it great to the world stage? And why is this beautiful karma to happen in Russia? I don't know. Killing dissidents? While making it sound like a great country and, hey, here we are competing in the Olympics. Yet you're cheating at that too. You're not only killing off dissidents, you're cheating at one of the most historic, precious, timeless event, if you will. And now you're being called out for it and being punished for it. I think Russia can live with, not having the anthem play or the flag flown or the whatever else is going on, or the name. I don't know what they're going to call them. But to be on the field with the Russia, as a member of Russia, I'm sure they're very proud every year to be competing for their home country. The motherland, I think they call it. So to be an athlete and have to wear to have to wear neutral athlete, and basically you're not affiliated with Russia, even though you're wearing the name. Let me tell you the actual thing they said. Neutral team or neutral athlete. That's got to be a big knock to you and your ego. And the fact that you're an Olympian. Why do people become Olympians? Partly because they're great, but I think also partly because of pride in their own country. Why was 1980 so huge? Because we have pride in our hockey team, the Team USA. Do you believe in miracles? Yes, team. Aruzzioni and others, coached by Herb Brooks. Our country was proud of that. Our country is proud of folks like Simone Biles, Michael Phelps, Deanna Torres. Yeah, hell yeah. And so to have that neutral team on the shirt's got to be very demeaning, and rightfully so. Because think of it this way, not only did the country do it, the athletes participated. And the athletes who participated in that should never be allowed to play another Olympic sport. Or I guess if they do, just call them neutral. But say, I'm not representing Russia. And Russia's not really represented here. I'm doing this for myself. We just have to pray that some of these guys don't feel like it's cover to cheat more. Or for Vlad to cheat more, if you will. And so while we were worrying about Winter Storm Gale, and it did hammer us, and while we were worried about what fraud may or may not be happening, Russia's getting what they deserve. A knockdown by the entire world. In sports, in politics, and in technology. Because we will call out Russia when they mess up. We should call out Russia when they mess up. We shouldn't be afraid to put our foot down against Russia. And I honestly believe the last two administrations in general were afraid to do that. Obama didn't really stop influence if he knew about it. He said, I told Putin to stop it, but I don't know, did he? Trump just didn't think it was appropriate to call him out on the carpet for interference in 2016, which did not affect the election of 2016. No vote was switched because of Russian interference. That is true. And no vote was switched by Dominion. We could say that, people. We could say no switch was made by Russia in 16, and in 2020, though I don't like Dominion, I don't know why we're outsourcing our votes, but no vote was changed. Documents are showing that. So while we're worried with that, Russia is finally getting what comes to them. And I always find it fascinating when people stand up to Russia. I think it's the most interesting thing in the world. You know why? Because Russia is governed by a bully. Russian legislatures are pretty bad. They don't even have a spine against Putin because they're afraid they're going to get killed. That's how ruthless it is for the Russian government. So for them to be knocked down by the outside world, you got to love that, right? You got to love that. Because we're not supposed to like Russia, we're not supposed to like Iran, and we're not supposed to like North Korea. I don't even think President Trump likes any of these countries. I think he's just trying to maintain a rapport with them so that they don't blow America off the face of the earth as they're building their missile capabilities in these countries. And I think Trump knows that. You may not. I think he does. I think he knows that China's really... Oh, and China, yeah, of course China. They're really in our back pocket. As I said before, all you got to do is look at the Waldorf Astoria to see how great things are when China gets involved. They haven't even taken the scaffolding down, and it's been 3-4 years now, and that poor Waldorf Astoria is a darn mess. Is a freaking mess. Our beloved Waldorf taken over by the Chinese government, so much so, Obama didn't even want to stay there in 2015. Because he knew they would bug the rooms of the Waldorf. And we let that happen. And we may continue to let Chinese influence happen in America. We can't have that either. But to see Russia under the microscope, under pressure for doping, under punishment for doping, I feel like these steps taken by the IOC and others were just a doorstep away from banning them completely. And if they test positive, I don't want to see a Russian out there for anything in the near future. Let's be stricter on them. Tell you what, the name, the anthem, that's fine. But you take away their whole participation in a event they've been in for years? Oh, that sends a message. That sends a great message. Doping will not be tolerated at the Olympics. Excluding them from the G7 and the G8 and all these summits sends a strong message. We don't even want you in our political sphere. And it should stay that way. You are an enemy. And if the IOC can recognize that, so too can the nations that are at the G7, G8. So can we. Not inviting them would be nice. Not inviting them to these summits would be nice, and not including them is what has to happen. So I hope we rescind the invite moving forward. And as far as Joe Biden goes, he gets congratulated by Putin. I hope he has a different stance toward them than we've seen the last few decades or 2 decades. A stance of truly sanctioning them, a stance of truly not being afraid. I think Trump did show a bit of fear by rolling back the sanctions. I can say that. But today with Pompeo proving that he's still tough on them. But no more rollbacks. We must do a campaign against them that's so tough and so hard to get out of. It ruins them. Just like we ruined Iran's economy for building up missiles. We did that. The government lost money because we were strict on them through sanctions. I want to see that strictness applied to a country that cheats, that hacks, and that doesn't make fair deals. That would be Russia. And it's got to put a stop to it. Maybe in 2016, I got a little carried away with the WikiLeaks, and I thought that was great, and I thought valuable information. But I never really thought that was Trump telling Russia to hack. He may have joked about it. Russia took him seriously. But you really think he wants confidential documents hacked? I don't know. But I don't think so. I think it was just a blessing for people to see the truth about the Clintons at that point. We don't know what's going to come of Hunter Biden's ties with China. But if we can apply this much pressure to Russia and call them out and then sanction them for what they did to our government services with the hacks, please, Biden administration, exude that same toughness against China. We're not electing you we as a country are not electing you to make deals with the enemy in that way. We're asking you to make them cooperate with us. And maybe the trade war wasn't the best idea. Tariffs are great, but, I think they just came back at us 20 times harder with this virus. I really feel that. So whatever we do, we cannot let up against Russia. We must keep pressuring them, but we must exert that same pressure on the Chinese government, not the people, the government, under Biden's administration. I would love to see it. Because if we don't see it, we are lost. We are screwed. We are up the creek in America if we let foreign powers truly dominate and truly make deals with us that aren't healthy for America right now. So big kudos to Mike Pompeo, Secretary of State, for calling them out. Big kudos to the anti-doping agency. And I can't say kudos to Joe Biden. I can't say kudos to Putin for congratulating him. I just want to see that we hold them accountable in the Biden administration. That's all. And that's all for now. I'm Alex Garrett. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great Saturday. It's the weekend before Christmas. Hope you get out there and enjoy it for a little bit. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks again to Roger Jones. You can catch that on my Spreaker. And on my YouTube at Alex Garrett on YouTube. Director of Corporate Partnerships. Thanks again, Roger, for joining me. And, of course, find me at alexginnyc.net, alexginnyc.net. Thanks so much, and may God bless you this rest of the Christmas season. We'll talk to you soon, though.